80 days. That's the number of days almost approximately left in your CSIR exam. Well, the good news is exam is happening on time. The bad news is we have 80 days. But fear not, Biotechnica's biggest fleet of experts, teachers, faculty members with more than 150 years of combined experience are here to support you, nurture you, guide you. Welcome everybody. My name is Shekhar Suman. I'm the CEO and Managing Director at Biotechnica and your very own motivational speaker, success coach, and mentor. I'm right here to support you in this 80 days journey. And I welcome all of you into this exhilarating, exciting session where we will learn the next 80 days strategy. Welcome Lucky, Sneha, Zakia, Pooja, and everybody who is a part of this live stream and whoever will watch it in the future. Let's start by talking about the GATE exam. I'm sure most of you would have written and the result has come today. What a joke that GATE is conducted by IITs and IITs produce the best engineers in the country. And IIT servers are down, GATE results we can't access. Isn't that bad? Well, I laughed at that situation, but that joke, we'll keep it for some other day. For now, we are here for DBT exam as well as CSIR exam. DBT is roughly around 35-40 days and CSIR around 80 days. Now, should we choose one exam? Should we choose both exams? A lot of questions were there in the minds of our students and subscribers. So we thought, let's come together with the biggest army of teachers who are going to guide you on this. Welcome Lakshmi, Jayashree, Tirtha Pratim, Sayani, Arzu, Pooja, and everybody. Let's start today's session by inviting all our teachers. Let me start by bringing on the screen our HOD of academics, Neha ma'am. Welcome ma'am to this session. Further to that, we have Tithi ma'am. She is genetics and evolutionary biology expert. And then we have Divya ma'am, and she's here as a cell biology expert. Then we have Violet ma'am, animal physiology and immunology expert. And of course, our very own Nupur ma'am with plant physiology, unit 6. And then Dr. Tanushree ma'am, our very own methods in biology expert. And finally, we have Nidhi ma'am, also molecular biology expert. Due to some technical issues, Shamlata ma'am could not join, but worry not, she's always there with all of us. So with the biggest fleet of teachers, we are right here to guide you, mentor you, and I invite you to ask as many questions you can in the next 1 hour. Now, most of the times I keep talking on the YouTube channel, and today I think I should take a back seat because we have the best experts in the country who are going to guide you on whatever questions you have, okay? So without wasting much of our time, I'll invite Neha ma'am to start the session by sharing a few words of wisdom. Ma'am, over to you.
Hello students, good evening, and thank you so much Shekhar sir for the opportunity. So exam time is near, and as we know the dates, so that goosebump has already started, that's there, right? And when exams are near, we actually try to uh, either we stay very cool that okay fine, it's 80 days now, right, and we'll just try and prepare, and some people it will be like okay, now it's the time to gear up and start preparing and start solving the questions. So guys, the best strategy, the best methodology we have to adopt in order to get the maximum advantage of the situation, right? So right now we have some days left, and how we can actually choose those days in order to get the best result which we can, right? And since I'm a biochemistry expert, and in biochemistry, let's straight away, without wasting your time, let's straight away talk about the biochemistry. Now, in biochemistry, we have a lot of chemistry involved, and since there are a lot of biological molecules involved, so we have to have a balance of both, right? Now there are certain topics which we call the basics of biochemistry. You need to be thorough with that. the basics of biochemistry, which involves your principles of biophysical chemistry, that is pH, buffer. You have colligative properties over there, and then you have your enzymes, the reaction kinetics, right? So all those things you need to be very much well aware of. Reason being, you get direct questions out of it, and you just have to apply either formula or some kind of concept, and you'll be able to answer, right? So that's
Right.
one thing. And apart from that, yes, apart from that, you can use those basic knowledge in order to answer some cross questions, which actually involve 2 or 3 units, the concept of 2 or 3 units. So basically, if you know your molecule, if you know your subject better, you can actually spend some time understand the question. And since it's MCQ, so you have all the answers over there, and you can just judge and try and find out the best answer, and probably you will land up at the, I mean, the probability of you landing up to the correct answer will be more, right? So that's the basic of biochemistry, which you have to be aware of. And then since biochemistry has got biological molecules, so under biological molecules must emphasize on the proteins and carbohydrates, right? Proteins, why? Because methods in biology, when you talk about, or when you are talking about molecular biology or cell biology, if you know your proteins, certainly you'll be able to judge a situation wherein this protein will go inside the cell or it will stay outside, because the outside environment is positively charged or negatively charged, or the inside is what, right? So whether the protein will stay there or it will proceed via a certain channel. So you need not remember all those concepts. Rather, you can just apply your mind or the basic concept, and you will be able to know that. So by that, I mean to say you must be aware of the basics of amino acids, the basics of proteins, the basics of carbohydrates. Now, under carbohydrates, metabolism is something very important. You get direct question, and since DBT is near, so biochemistry holds a better place over there, right? So you
Right.
will get a lot of direct questions from these two macromolecules, right? And in the meanwhile, yeah, you have lipids, you have vitamins. So certainly, it's not that you need to leave those. You just brush up. Since you have already studied, you brush up. So that would be the strategy to study the basics of the subject biochemistry. Now, along with it, you need to solve questions, because biochemistry has got a mathematical approach, right? The theory speaks about something, and then when you apply it, uh, the way certain things are asked in exam, there is no correlation, right? So when you start attempting those questions, you will get to know where exactly you are weak at, where exactly you need to focus on, and where exactly the concepts you need to understand and remember, right? So along with that, you have to do questions also. I hope I am clear, I suppose, with the
Yes.
concept.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable insights, ma'am. And now students start asking questions in the chat box. You just heard biochemistry expert and our HOD academics, Neha ma'am, share her expert views. In the meanwhile, I would also like to welcome Farhan Zamir sir. He just finished his internship and quickly joined and jumped into the live stream because he always loves to talk to students. Sir, since you joined at the last, let me give you the first chance. 2 words of wisdom for our students for CSIR and DBT.
Sir, very good evening, everybody. Sir, 2 words of wisdom is understand. Rather than two, it is just one. Rather than rattamaru, okay, you just understand concepts, because what we learn, and what we reproduce on our answer scripts, especially in our classical examination, that is entirely different. And here, in all our competitive examination, it is the way you understand the concept, and not how much is your remembrance, or your intelligence will not work there. Only your understanding will work there, sir. So rather than emphasizing on intelligence, I would always say understanding will play a very, very important role, sir.
Wonderful points there. Thank you so much, sir. Now, without wasting much time, because we have to give chance to all the 10 experts. So, Titi, ma'am, you are a genetics and evolutionary biology expert. What is your take? Last 80 days, how students should take this up?
So hello everyone. So for genetics, as far as genetics is concerned, so similar to biochemistry, genetics also has lot of mathematical portions. So you all have to tell yourself that we are not scared of math. Many people, they just run away from math, that we are in biology, we can't do math. That is not true. It is not going to happen. As long as you are in any branch of science, you cannot leave mathematics. Mathematics is going to be there. Now, definitely, we are not going to do any calculus or any higher standard mathematics. Basic mathematics only will be there. Okay. And for that, you just have to understand the concept. So just like as Amir sir was saying that, yes, understanding concept will be very, very important. So once you understand the concept in genetics also, you should have that kind of approach, that you try to understand the concept, and then you try to do the numericals questions which are related to the concept. Okay, so as like if I go by topic wise, so definitely the basic Mendelian principles, the basic extensions or deviation from Mendelian principle, very important from exam point of view, something that you cannot leave. Not only for exam, like for your basic understanding of genetics also, you cannot just jump into any other topic if you don't know Mendelian genetics. So that is very important. And then every year there will be question from this topic, you cannot skip that again. And then gene mapping, again, very, very important portion from the syllabus. Every year we see question from gene mapping, recombination frequency. And the next one is mutation, something that you cannot leave. So mutation, and then this polygenic inheritance or QTL mapping. So they are like the practical approach of genetics. What you are learning in, definitely nobody will ask you to do a cross. If you go to a genetics lab also, you are not going to do a cross like Mendel. Okay, you are not going, you will not get a field to do that. But what is the application of that part? And moreover, like in recent times, if I see the CSIR question paper pattern, they are more emphasizing on the application part. Where will you apply it in the research? Okay, so those kind of questions are very important, and as well as the marker based mapping, the molecular markers. Okay, if the RFLP pattern is given to you, are you able to trace who is the child, who are the parents, like that, or which progeny will be affected, what will be the chance of getting a particular disorder? So those kind of questions are coming a lot, many times. So again, your basic understanding is required. Then only, like if you see this this kind of concept like molecular markers, RFLP, or any other genetic disease, let's say sickle cell anemia. So here there are three different concepts, and to solve one question, you have to apply all these concepts together. Okay, so this is also one thing, that you cannot separate the syllabus, even though we are studying it unit wise by dividing it into subjects. But you, at this last days, okay, you have to step back and you have to try to correlate everything. Then only you will get a complete picture, and then only you will even be able to solve those kind of questions where there is combination is there, where there you have to apply concept from multiple units together. And definitely question, you cannot leave that part. You have to practice as many questions as you can, not only from the previous year question papers, you also get question from the standard books. Whenever there's a chapter, at the behind the chapter, there are a lot of questions, lot of spicy, extra spicy kind of, they put the tag, those kind of questions are there, which are analytical questions. And also you can try looking for questions from the foreign university assignment papers. There many are available in Google. Okay, just have to search on the internet and you will get those questions. So this last 30 days, okay, you prepare, but then last 30 days keep it for only question discussion and question solving. That's all will be from me. And yes, for evolution biology, you have to, again, the population genetics part is there. And apart from that, the parental care, that is only one topic where every time questions are coming. The parental care, what should be the investment and all those kind of things. So this concept should be clear to you. Thank you, sir. Over to you. Sir, you are on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Tithi ma'am, for that wonderful and insightful talk. Now, students, I can see that some of you have already started asking questions. Please wait while we start answering them. In the meanwhile, I would request the experts also to include DBT tips and tricks also, because DBT is also very near 30 days away. So please include those tips also. So let's move on next to our next expert in the line. Tanushri ma'am, would you like to add some more points about the methods in biology, which is very important topic? Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. So if you go through the syllabus of CSIR Net and DBT, you will find that techniques are something which is common for both, right? If you go through the syllabus, you will find a lot of techniques, molecular techniques, molecular tools, analytical tools, recombinant DNA technology. So when it comes to the technique, I would like to suggest all of you that it is a must for you to prepare this technique part. Never ever skip this technique part. I'll give you the 3 reasons for that. The very first reason is that this technique part is very important and scoring from exam point of view. In DBT as well as in CSIR Net, you get a lot of questions. When it comes to CSIR Net, specifically, you not only get direct questions on the technique, but also you get the combined questions. Like the CSIR Net will frame questions from flow cytometry from unit 13 and immunology from unit 4 or cell division from unit 2. So this is the very first reason you should never skip the technique parts, because it's very important and scoring unit or scoring section from exam point of view. Secondly, once you clear the exams, when you enter into the research field, techniques are the ones which you have to actually deal with. So this is the second reason. From practical aspect point of view, you should never skip the techniques part. And third reason is that the topics are common for both CSIR Net and DBT. So even like if you're preparing for both the exams, then definitely it will be an advantage for you. Now coming to how you have to prepare for the techniques part. So the very first point is techniques, you have to specifically focus on principle and application. Protocol is not needed, but yes, definitely overview of the process you need to be familiar with. Second point, that never ever start your preparation with the techniques. As mentioned by my other colleagues and by Neha ma'am, that always focus on basics first. So yes, techniques you can better understand once you are familiar with the basics, like structure of biomolecules, amino acids, proteins, nucleic acids, right? Structure and function of organelles, right? So once you are familiar with the basics, then move on to the techniques part. Like for example, for CSIR Net, if you're preparing, at least focus on first 4 units given in the syllabus, and then you can start unit 13. Never ever start with the techniques part at the very first step. Third point is that compare and learn. Okay, like for example, you are learning spectroscopy. Now, in your syllabus, you have UV visible spectroscopy also, fluorescence spectroscopy also, circular dichroism also, mass spectrometry also. So when you compare, like when you're comparing UV and fluorescence, you will understand about the techniques better, right? And your concepts will be more clear. Understand the difference between the fluorescence microscope and confocal microscope. Then the fourth point is that always follow the active method. Most of the students, they follow the passive method. 90% of them follow the passive method, that they go through the theory and then practice the questions. But for the techniques, I'll specifically say go through the question paper, previous year question papers first, see what type of questions are asked from unit 13 or from the techniques part in DBT, and then prepare that topic accordingly. And lastly, revise as much as possible, revise frequently, and practice as many questions as possible. And one additional point I would also like to give you, there are many formulas when you are studying the techniques, like Beer-Lambert's law related to spectroscopy, half-life, and then half-life when you are studying about radioisotopes, and recombinant DNA technology also, there are certain formulas. So make a formula notebook or a sheet, note down all the formulas, paste it in your study table or in the room where you are studying. So this will be definitely very much helpful for you for quickly revising all the formulas. Statistical methods also, a lot of formulas are there. So this will definitely help you in effective preparation and quick preparation. Over to you, sir, now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really insightful and very valuable. I must say, those were really golden words. Now, in the meanwhile, my mobile battery is down. Now, why I'm making that point? It's so irrelevant, right? No, it is not. The same way, the moment you listen 80 days exam is away, your battery starts going down. Your motivation starts going down. You start feeling demotivated. You start feeling that you have to press the panic button. And that is where things start going wrong. A panicked student can never succeed. Okay, so if you are feeling panicked and if you are a Biotechnica student, you have my WhatsApp number. Straight away ping me. I can calm you down. I can give you some tips and tricks to keep your mind under control, and that's how you win. If you're still not a Biotechnica student, you should know this, that Biotechnica is starting the Raftar batch, the very own Raftar batch, which created so many toppers last time. This time, once again, from tomorrow, we are starting the Raftar batch, and it will be in the evening time, so you can comfortably, do whatever you do in the whole day, and then come back and study in the evening with all these experts who are right now on the screen. Can you imagine that? There are more experts whom we could not accommodate today because of some technical reasons, because there's a limit to how many people we can show on the screen. But you can imagine all these experts with combined experience of more than 150 years are right here. They are your army to help you win in this battle. Now, let's come back quickly to another aspect. If your battery is fully charged, if you're feeling enthusiastic, only then you will feel like studying. And that is where Success Coach comes into picture. That is where I come into picture. Without a charger, your mobile won't work. Without full enthusiasm, full 100% energy, you will not feel like studying. And that is where, even though you have a plan, even though you're trying to execute, you will not be able to do it. And that is where I come into picture, guys. I can recharge your morale. I can boost you up. And whenever you feel like you're down, contact me. You know, my email ID is shekhar@biotechnica.org. If you're a student of Biotechnica, you have a direct access of WhatsApp to me. WhatsApp me, whatever is your frustration level. I can calm you down. I can give you the right mantra to succeed. So without wasting much of our time, let's come back now to our next expert in line, and that should be Divya ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. Can you please share more insights on cell biology?
Definitely, sir. Hello, everyone. I hope so. You all are doing very great and you are studying very well. And I guess right now you are in the revision mode because exams are very near, right? So, when I speak of cell biology, the very first thing is that whether you consider CSIR net or you consider DBT exam, cell biology becomes the base onto which other units are constructed. Like if you take into consideration cancer, you can connect it with cell biology. You can take it in the case of other units like molecular biology, genome organization, you can easily connect to this unit too. So it is like a request to all of you is that never ever skip this cell biology unit. And that too, when we speak of questions are usually coming in the form of directly. So basically, you can expect statement-based questions, and sometimes you can also expect numericals, that too under microbial physiology. But don't be afraid of that, because even those numericals are also very simple, very basic. Anyone can do it. Direct questions. Again, you can expect sometimes match the following kind of questions. You can expect, like if you take into consideration the enzymes, like flip bases, flop bases, cram bases, you can take a comparison chart and you can remember that. Then if you speak of cell signaling, communication, all those category, cancer, all those category, the thing is that you can expect maximum of questions in the form of match the following. Specifically speaking, cellular communication. No matter what, you can expect minimum one question from cellular communication in the form of match the following. So whatever topics I said, whether it is membrane structure, solute transport, protein targeting, or genome organization, cell cycle, all this, you have to prepare in such a way that it should be like what we can say, it should be there in your mind on the spot. Okay, the revision should be that much perfect, because this is something where, as I told you, direct questions are being expected from here. So make sure that these topics are very important, be it cell signaling, be it communication, cancer, specifically the comparison between tumor suppressor, oncogenes, very important with examples. So as mentioned by my dear colleagues, the important thing is that you must do revision and you must do PYQ series. That is what is required at the end of the day. And thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. It was really insightful and wonderful. Now I would like to invite our very own plant physiology expert, Nupur ma'am, to share her point of view on how should we prepare for plant physiology. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to today's session, and I'll be talking about plant physiology, which from CSIR point of view, that's Unit 6, and from the DBT BET exam, there is an entire specialized section which includes both plant physiology as well as transgenics, plant genetic engineering, cell culture, so on and so forth. Now, the very first point I would like to make here is the students have to make a choice whether they want to study this unit or not. If you had sufficient time for about a year or so, then I would have recommended, yes, you can choose this unit for your studies, for the exam. But since just a few couple of days are remaining for the exam, I recommend, if you do not have any plant background, botany background or agricultural background, then I recommend do not choose this unit. Studying this unit from scratch, if you do not have any background, would be highly detrimental, because you are just consuming new information without having any time for revision. So that's not a good strategy right now. So this unit 6, or from the DBT's perspective also, the agricultural biotechnology part, you only choose it if you have a background in botany, or if you have studied agricultural sciences, any such topics you have studied in your lower classes, then only go for unit 6 or plant physiology. Now, one point I would like to make here is from the from part C, unit 6 part C questions. The thing is, from unit 6, from plant physiology, hardly any numericals come in the exam. The major type of questions that you can expect are the statements that are given A, B, C, D, E, and then you are supposed to choose the combination of statements, whether they are right or whether they are wrong. So you have to choose whether ABC is correct, BCD is correct. So out of, in part C, the 5 or 6 questions that come from plant physiology, you can expect almost 80-90% of the questions are of this type only. Then the remaining ones would be, match the following, or some analytical type of question where a diagram is given, a graph is given, and you're supposed to get some interpretation or conclusion from that diagram or graph. So such type of questions are expected. Now, some students come and ask me that we have studied photosynthesis. That is one of the topics of Unit 6. So can we just study that and skip the others? I say, yes, you can do that. The problem is there are a lot of questions which are overlapping with other topics. So photosynthesis overlapping with nitrogen metabolism, or overlapping with solute transport. So in that case, your studies would go waste if you have not covered the entire unit. So my personal suggestion is, if you are studying Unit 6, do it in its entirety. Or if you do not have any plant background, you can just skip it and go for, say, animal physiology or genetics or biochemistry, which are the core. Those are the basics. You cannot skip those. So plant physiology, just take your time and decide whether you want to study this or not. And of course, if you do decide, I'm always there to help you sail through it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shekhar sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nupur ma'am. That was really wonderful. And students, as you heard it, you should always bank upon this unit. This is a good unit, even though in my college days, I used to hate it. But let me tell you, it's a scoring one. Okay, jokes apart. Now, as you can see, a lot of questions are coming in, but we are still into the introduction phase. So I will request the experts to quickly do the tips part so that we can connect with every student and answer that their question, because time is less. We have almost finished half of the session. Next we have in line is Niti ma'am. Over to you, ma'am, if you would like to share some words of wisdom with our students.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity to share my experiences, my insights with all the students. Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome and greet you to another electrifying session. For some reason, I was not part of the previous session, but I'm glad that I'm here today and I can share my experiences, as in like about the past queries and concerns which students usually have regarding Unit 3 or another unit which I take, Unit 10. But for now, I'll be talking about molecular biology, that is Unit 3 from CSIR. Now, here also, I would like to give you some reasons that why we should not be skipping Unit 3. Okay, so molecular biology, that is something I'm sure all of you might have learned little bit of it at your master's level. So everyone is aware about that. What do we have in molecular biology? That's the first reason. And then if we talk about the connection. Like there are many topics which are common, right, between CSIR, GATE, and even DBT. So cellular processes is something which you will find that is part of the syllabi of all these exams. So that is another reason we should not be skipping preparing unit 3, that is cellular processes, fundamental processes. Now this unit is small, this is short as compared to the other units where you need to do the extensive revisions. But if you are aware about the concepts, the basic concepts of molecular biology, so you don't need to do put that revision, like you don't need to do that much of revision as compared to the other units like genetics and biochemistry. Of course those units are comparatively difficult. Now, talking about the structure of Unit 3, so I'm sure you all know about the central dogma, where the information it is passed from DNA via mRNA to the proteins. Okay, so the structure of Unit 3 is in synchronization with that only. So in the very first subunit, we have all the topics which are related to DNA, right? It talks about the autocatalytic property of the DNA, how it replicates, right? How the DNA copies they are passed to the future progenies, to the next generations. Then if some errors they are left, so how those errors they are fixed by different DNA repair mechanisms. Then in the next subunit, we talk about the RNA. We have all the topics which are related to the RNA. Even in the DBT syllabus, you will find that all these topics are there. Okay, so you need to know about different types of RNAs, how RNA synthesis happens, then post-transcriptional processing, like one of the most important topics from where you usually get to find the questions in the exam. Then in the next subunit, we have translation. Okay, so we have reached the protein level now. So how the protein synthesis happens. Okay, then what we do have in the last subunit. So that talks about the gene regulation, how the genes they are being regulated, how all these mechanisms they are being regulated at different levels. Because remember, in this word, even we are talking about the processes, the things which are happening at the in this word, or even if it is happening at the level of the cell, it should have a proper regulation. So the last subunit it talks about the regulation. So that is also an important subunit which you should cover. Another thing I would like to add, sir, that in unit 3, all the subunits they are connected, as in when you will be getting the questions. So you can expect that all the subunits they could be covered equally. Okay, so you may get one statement appearing from transcription, and then we'll be having another statement which will be asked from translation. So therein we cannot skip any subunit. We have to cover all the subunits. If you are choosing unit 3, like I have already given you reasons that we should not be skipping this unit at all, then you should cover all the subunits. Okay, it's not like that you are covering replication and then you are leaving translation. So that shouldn't happen. So these are few strategies which or tips which I would like to convey to the students while they will be preparing for unit 3.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much. This was really wonderful, insightful. Now we have Violet, ma'am, and she handles animal physiology and immunology. Both are important. So, ma'am, over to you. Would you like to add something?
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. So I'll be talking about animal physiology and immunology. So first, let us compare between the syllabus of animal physiology for CSIR net and DBT. So definitely some topics from animal physiology, that is the cardiac cycle and the nervous system part, as well as the endocrinology. So these are some of the important topics that is present in CSIR as well as DBT. So that is how, if you're preparing for CSIR net, you are automatically getting prepared for DBT. And talking about immunology, the whole of the immunology, each and every topic that is in your CSIR syllabus, you will see it is also there in your DBT. So now you know that if you're preparing these topics, you are getting prepared for DBT as well. So first, like animal physiology, students usually skip this unit because it is quite a lengthy unit. So there are 10 subunits, but let me tell you all of the subunits is not important. So what you have to concentrate is, you have to concentrate on 4-5 subunits from where questions are usually asked. So if you go through the previous year question papers, you will see that these are the important topics like cardiac cycle, regulation of blood pressure, then the topics like the oxygen saturation curve that is in your respiratory system. So that is another important topic that you have to go through. Then you have to concentrate more on the action potential generations, the different types of neurotransmitters, that is your nervous system. Then sometimes questions are asked from ears and eyes. So that is another important topic. Then further, you have to move on to excretory system. That is, you have to concentrate more on the structure and function of the nephron, the different parts of nephron. And usually the questions are very easy that are asked from this part. Like usually you will see there is match the following type of questions, which is very simple and scoring. Then comes the last and a very important topic that you have to prepare is endocrinology. So endocrinology, you have to just know the gland, what hormone it secretes, and what is the function. So in this way, even here you will get a graph-based question, or you can also get a match the following type of questions. So these are the important topics that you have to concentrate for animal physiology. Now talking about immunology. So immunology, whatever topics are mentioned. So let me tell you all, here you cannot skip anything, because if you don't know the structure of antibody, you will not know, what is the receptor for B cell. So it's all interconnected. And immunology is something that you have to start understanding right from the basics. Otherwise, it will be difficult to solve the part C questions. And specifically, if you talk about animal physiology, how to study, some tricks I would give is go through the figures that is present in your PPTs that we share, or even in the reference books, that is you can go through Graduate or that textbook. So what happens is in CSIR, they'll give you the figure and they'll omit the labelings. So you have to do the labelings over there. So that is why it is important that you go through each and every figure that is present in your reference books. So that will really help, and it's very scoring. And all the best. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Violet ma'am. And now we'll start with the set of questions which our students have asked till now. So get ready, guys, to ask all your questions. Before we get started, and while you guys are quickly typing in your questions, here is a point which I want to make. The time is around 7:30. All our faculty members had a hectic day. They worked really hard, but they're so passionate about our students that they're right here to guide you. Sweat, sacrifices, and hard work. Nothing can replace that. But definitely, there is two add-ons which must be there in any plan. Any plan of action demands strategy. Strategic advantage you already have because you have Biotechnica. You have all these experts, the army of experts who are going to empower you for CSIRnet. On the top of it, you also need technology, revision tools like Conceptica flowchart. We have the concept table, we have the concept notes, we have the concept cloud. All this has been created by all these experts. In the lockdown time, since we had no classroom classes, we went ahead and we created amazing revision tools for all of you. And all these tools will come handy when you are preparing the last 80 days. At Biotechnica, we don't believe in gimmicks. We want to empower you with the right tool set, which will help you accelerate your studies. Now, DBT exam also, we are starting a batch from tomorrow. Okay, and again, it is in the evening itself, and all our experts will be right here to guide you in the next 30 days. But the seats are very less, and I'm getting more than 100 emails so far I have received in the last 2 hours who are asking to take admission. So if in case you want to take admission in DBT or CSIRnet Raftar batch, let us know quickly, because the seats are going to be full by tomorrow by this time. Now, let's jump into the questions which we have from everybody. Let me start from the beginning. Okay, so a lot of good evenings were there. And then there was Roshan had a question about job. So Roshan will not take up your question right now, because this goes into our regular Margdarshika series. That is where you should come. The first question comes from Pragya, and that question is, as DBT is just a month away, how to prepare for it in a short period of time, which book to follow for the MCQs and all, and what strategies to be followed. Over to the experts. Anybody would like to jump in, please go ahead and guide our students. Who would like to take up? Yeah, Titi ma'am, please go ahead.
So Pragya, I expect that it's not that you are starting a preparation from scratch right now. I expect that you are doing CSIR preparation or any other competitive exam preparation, and now you are switching to DBT. So if that is the case, Pragya, then you don't have to worry at all, because it's not that the syllabuses are completely different. It's nothing like that. Syllabus is very much overlapping. You are right on the track. You just have to keep going in that pace. Okay. So now in this direction, in this last 1 month, what you can do is you can look for the previous year question papers. Okay. DBT bets, previous year question papers, they are available, and you try. So when you look into those questions, you will get the idea like which sections to focus more or which sections to revise better for DBT point of view. Okay. So if you just do that and solve the previous year question papers, you are right on track and you will be able to qualify in the BET exam. All the best to you, Pragya.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was quick and insightful. Now, the next question which we have is from Pinkal Makwana, and he or she is asking, can you please give some suggestions related to exam preparation? If we start from today, what will be the schedule for better preparation? So over to the experts who would like to come in. Anybody? Yeah. Okay, Neha ma'am, and then Nidhi ma'am also. Okay, go ahead, Neha ma'am.
Yes. So initially, what you have to do, you have to choose your units, whichever you want to prepare for, like 6 to 8 units you have to choose, and do not skip the basic units. As we had already said, unit 1 to 4, that involves biochemistry, cell biology, molecular biology, and cell communications and immunology. You must not skip these, right? And in these 80 days, just divide these 80 days into the 7 or 8 units which you have chosen, and give, say, like 10 days to each unit. Now that doesn't mean that into those 10 days you're not going to study anything, right? You can fix your time when you want to study biochemistry, or then next you want to study, say, developmental biology or something like that. I mean, whichever units you have chosen, right? And then every day you must give at least 1 to 2 hours to solve questions. Now when we solve questions, sometimes what happens is we just go into that panic mode that we have studied so hard and still we don't remember. So while answering a question, one need to be very peaceful, because everything is there in your subconscious mind. You have been hearing all these concepts through your say I must say 10 years, right? From an 8th standard, almost every concept, whatever we are studying right now, it starts, at least the basics of it starts. So you know it. It's just that if you go into the panic mode right now, then you may not be able to answer those questions, right? So just focus on those questions. Initially, your speed will be, but if you start properly, certainly in 10 or 15 time, you'll be able to, the pace will be much higher. I'll give you example over here. When we start doing exercises, the very first day will be very much enthusiastic. Okay, we will do 1 hour exercise or something like that, and the very next day the legs will be paining, the body will be aching like hell, and then third day or fourth day we give up, right? But if we continue doing small stretches, like 10 minutes first day, 15 minutes the second day, and 30 minutes the third day, or say fifth day, like that, then you will continue those for say a time being, and then after a month or so you will find out some kind of difference. So same thing happens with the studies also. Do not just leave the topic. Enthusiasm is very good, you that's very much positive, but yes, along with that, fix your schedule. And by that I mean to say that we do not make a study plan, right? We never make a study plan as a student. We study whenever we get time. Plan your day, strategize. Plan your day means to give some half an hour or 20 minutes or say 1 hour to the extra work which you do throughout the day, right? And whenever you are awake, say 16 hours or 15 hours you are awake, whenever you are there, just read something. So you have to increase your readability initially, and once you increase your readability, certainly you will be able to answer all the questions, and that will be the best strategy.
So that's learning habit. You have to develop a learning habit. All right. So next question we have is from Kiran Dubey. According to Tithi ma'am, we should practice more and more questions, but many times we face problems in decoding the questions or in solving it. How to deal with that? Anybody would like to answer that question? Tithi ma'am, questions for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kiran, so yes, I understand your problem, and yeah, students face that, and especially in the initial days when you are starting to solve the questions, this you will face. Like in Biotechnica, we have sessions where in the classes also we solve questions. We discuss the previous year part C questions, the most difficult type of questions. Okay, like solving one question of that type, it helps you understand all the entire genre of that type of question. So we do that in Biotechnica. We do that in the classes, and also like if you are a student of Biotechnica, you always have the access to the chat support and our WhatsApp number, and you are free to send the snapshot of the question, and we help you understand in doing that. So in case you are not a Biotechnica student, so in that scenario, I will say that you have to get in touch with some expert who can decode the question for you. Okay, so it's not that for every question you will need that decoding, but yes, for the certain typical ones you will need that decoding, and you will need that hand holding approach in the beginning, in the initial steps, and then you will be able to solve it on your own also.
All right. So I hope that answers your question, Kiran. Thank you so much for asking. Prakriti has a question. I'm already in Eklavya batch. Can I still attend the Raftar batch? So Prakriti, you have to get in touch with our customer support, and they should guide you whether this is included in your package or not. Okay, quickly we'll jump into the next question, where we can get all the previous year question papers. I think I can answer that question. We already have that on our website. If you have not got it, please email us. We'll give you. Okay, Srividya. Next question. Ma'am, but you have started unit 13 in the very beginning. That depends on the routine, Ritika. That's something which we can always discuss later. Okay, the next question. B cell and T cell development needed. Anybody would like to answer that question? Yeah. Go ahead, ma'am. Yeah, Violet, ma'am.
So student Anupam, B and T cell development is, they don't ask you directly like how the B cell development occurs or how the T cell development occurs, but definitely you need to know, because if you don't know how the development occurs, so if they ask some analytical question, like if in some stage, if they write the name of that particular stage during the T cell development, if they ask that co-stimulation is not occurring, like, so directly the question will not be asked, but yes, you need to know how this development occurs.
Okay, that answers your question, Anupam. Quickly, let's jump in. Next question is also very important. Which of the units you suggest we can skip? Anyone would like to answer? Yeah, Nidhi ma'am, please go ahead.
Sir, like we always discuss this thing, that what should be the criteria for selecting the unit. So we have discussed enough even in today's session. So if just to keep it short, I'll tell that which units you can skip, or which are the topics you can skip, or what are the units from where you can cover only the important topics. Okay, so unit 9, unit 12. So these are two units from where you can pick up only important topics, and then we always tell that you can opt for one of the units from unit 6 and 7, depending upon your academic background. So whether you are from botany or you are from zoology, so likewise you can make your choice between these two units.
All right, so I hope that answers your question, Prakriti. Next question is from Jasmine, and I believe you're the same Jasmine I was talking the other day on WhatsApp. Okay, can you please suggest few reference books for plant physiology, ma'am, and even notes making strategy for this? I think Nupur ma'am, you take a lead here. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, Jasmine. So for plant physiology, Tays and Ziegler, the book name is Plant Physiology. The authors are Tays and Ziegler, and this is like the Bible for plant physiology. Even questions have come exactly as the diagram has been given in this book itself. So that is one thing. And note making strategy for this unit is point wise. This goes for any other unit also. If you're using reference books, you sit with it, you read through it. As Farhan sir had said, you have to understand the concept, but at the same time, when you're making notes, you make it point wise, so that after a few days when you're revising it, you just have to go through the points, not the entire text as such. So, but this is true for all other units also. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. And the next question I think I would like to take up. Good evening, experts. Thank you all for your wonderful guidance. Could you guide me? Where should I learn the concepts? PowerPoints, reference books, offline hard copy books? My suggestion is start with whatever you're comfortable with and then quickly switch to standard book, because standard book is where the real knowledge lies. However, there are books which Biotechnica provides. Even those are marvelous, written and created by all our experts who are right here present in this workshop, in this webinar, who will, that will really be insightful. Anyone else would like to add some points here for this question? Yeah, Farhan sir, please go ahead.
Sir, when I was a student, when I was able to crack, CSIR and ICMR, so the very important strategy what I used is developing stories, building stories. This is very, very important because you are able to relate the question and you can relate to what exactly is happening within your body or within your society. Let me try to give you one or two examples so that you understand it better. Example, if I want to study something with alcohol dehydrogenase, okay, say for example, I have a competition between a male and a female, okay, and both are trying, alcohol for the first time. So who can drink more? So this would be the question. So again, to understand this question, okay, you need to know the biochemistry of how exactly alcohol dehydrogenase works in both in males and females. That is, you need to understand human physiology. Now, we are all in a garden sitting together, but there is an attack from mosquitoes. Now, Shekhar sir, me, and everybody, are sitting together, but mosquitoes are only attacking Shekhar sir. Now, why is this? Many a times they say that, oh, Shekhar sir is very sweet, and because his blood is sweet, and everybody, all the mosquitoes are attacking. Now, you need to understand the biochemistry part of it. You need to understand the entomology part of it. Okay, you need to understand the ovulation pattern of a mosquito. So, under those conditions, you are able to understand. So, please remember, develop stories. So, when you develop stories, science becomes so easy that there is absolutely no necessary that you need to put a lot of effort in remembering something. So, in a last example, if I want to amalgamate biology with that of mathematics, example, I have Bernoulli's theorem. Now, when I have Bernoulli's theorem, if Bernoulli's theorem is working positive in my body, whether it is good for my heart or not. So here there are multiple things. So as Shekhar sir always says that you need to have intra, and transdisciplinary sciences to answer specific questions. Now, me, when I am setting up questions for all these kind of competitive exams, I make it a point that we are we are checking the the understanding component of the students. And very importantly, please remember, I want everybody to go and Google this. There's a pattern. When we set a question paper, there's a pattern, and this pattern is called as modified Bloom's taxonomy. I want you people to go and Google this on Google Images, that what exactly is the 6 levels of understanding, especially Bloom's modified taxonomy. So this is how we ask questions, and with various kinds of pyramid kind of a shape, we are looking into the creativity, innovation, remembrance, then application, analysis. All these components are being used. And please remember, there is something which is called as Bloom's taxonomy action verbs. I also want you people to go and understand Bloom's taxonomy action words, because when you read the question with the action verb, you know what exactly the answer is expected. So remember, when the question starts with define, when the question starts with analyze, so you know what level of question is been expected. And I humbly request everybody to look into the Bloom's taxonomy and action verbs. So that is what I wanted to tell you, sir. And especially science is very, very easy. And stay very calm, and what you have understood, and be confident. Don't be overconfident, and don't be underconfident also, but make sure you're confident enough. You don't lose your hope. Okay, and what you have studied is your 100% effort, but make sure you stay calm, because only when you stay calm, you understand the question. When you understand the question well, you will answer it well. So that's the key point, sir.
Thank you so
I
much,
would
sir.
like to add one very quick addition to it, because I know we are running out of time now. So if you don't have enough time to follow the reference books, of course, for all the topics, that won't be possible. So just don't miss on checking those things to remember, the important points, the key points, the highlights, which are usually given in the middle of the chapters or at the end of the chapters. They are really useful. They're really helpful to have a quick revision before your exam goes.
Thank you, Nidhi ma'am, for that point. So students, as you know, we are running out of time, so we'll quickly try to answer everybody's question now. The next question which we have is from Nancy, and she has a question, sir, how to plan our revision hours, because the major problem is to retain things. So my point here would be use the active recall method. However, I'll invite the experts to answer this question. Over to you, experts. Yeah, Divya ma'am, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can completely relate to you, Nancy. First thing is that use morning hours. Morning hours are very fresh. If you sit for 1 hour also, you can get maximum of information and you can retain the things better. Another thing is that when you are revising the topics, never ever go for the entire topic. Just pick up the key points and remember that. For example, if I say of cell signaling topic, you have many things to study. But when you are doing revision, just pick up the pathways that you have already created in the form of flowcharts. So just remember in that way. I hope so. I have answered your question, Nancy.
Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. Anybody else would like to add something?
Sir, another best method is to find a partner, sir. Find another partner who is actually so dedicated as you are. Okay, and if the ratio is different, then it can be detrimental also. But on that way, make sure both the partners are equally dedicated, and with this, group discussion can make a huge impact, sir. So this is how normally at one given point of time I can cover 2 topics, sir.
Yeah, so that's accountability partner. Yeah, Tanushree ma'am, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. One additional point I would like to mention that when you are planning your revision, make sure that you revise frequently. It's not that when you are revising today, then after 1 month you will be doing the revision. Okay, so it's like you're studying on, like you are revising something on Monday. Make sure that in that week only you revise it again, and then by the end of the month again you also revise it. Okay, and yes, as mentioned by Divya ma'am, you can go through the like active recall method as mentioned by sir also, and so you should go for flow charts and you should go for, like Divya ma'am mentioned, pathways and all, right? So the quick revision strategies is to don't read the entire thing. Okay, revision doesn't mean you have to go everything line by line. It means you just have to focus on the important concepts, important points, important formulas. So plan your revision accordingly. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. That was really insightful. Roshan has a question: how to join Margdarshika series? You have to be a subscriber of Biotechnika's YouTube channel. I conduct that every alternate Mondays and Wednesdays. You can check that on our website as well as our YouTube channel. Next question is from Jyoti, and she's asking how to balance among concept learning, revision, and question solving. So yeah, that's a real question. Anybody would like to answer that? Yeah. Neha ma'am. Okay, three hands to go. Okay, let's go with Neha ma'am.
Okay, so balancing is something which is part of life. So you have to balance this concept learning. Concept learning, by, I suppose you mean to say that the topics or the subtopics which you want to learn, right? The concept learning and then revision and question solving. So question solving is an active learning. So do not think that this is another kind of study or something like that. It's a part of your active learning process only, and the retention is more. So it's a revision also and it's learning also, right? Now let's focus on the concept learning and revision. So today, for example, today you have learned some concept. You have to revise that thing 3 times within that week. Now you have to choose your time when you want to revise. So first time, say today you read in the morning, tomorrow evening you just try and revise. When you're going to bed, just give half an hour or something, and then you just revise that, and then give a 2 days break or 3 days break, and then once again revise it. And in between you have to go through the question solving. You have to have the question solving hours also, like every day, 2 hours or 1.5 hour you have to dedicate fully to the question solving, right? So this is how you can plan concept learning today, revision tomorrow, and 2 days gap, and then question learning every day, question solving every day. That is how it should be done.
Okay, anybody else would like to add something here, guys?
No, sir, another important point is just follow a formula, 3:2:1. So when for concept learning, put 3%, almost like if I consider like 100%, like 3 portions of your 100% should be your concept learning, 2 portions should be your revision, and 1% should be your question solving component. So if you can divide this, spend more time on concept learning. Once you understand it, then revise it twice, and then once you have the revision, then just go it for like 1 portion. So 3:2:1 is the formula. Normally everybody actually follows it. In even if you observe Neha madam's description or your help, okay, she was actually following 3:2:1 formula.
Right. That's a great formula, sir. Anybody else would like to add something? Or we can move to the next question. Last 1 minute. Okay, let's move to the next question. Next question is from Sachin. In methods and biology techniques, many times overlap with each other with short difference. I think, who will like?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely right, Sachin. That methods in biology, there are many techniques, they overlap with each other with very, very short difference. So that is what I told you, when you compare and learn, you will better understand. Like when it comes to let's say you are studying the secondary structure of proteins. So question arises, which spectroscopy technique you will use? Such type of questions are asked in exam as well, right? Like whether you will use UV or circular dichroism or fluorescence, right? So the best thing is when you compare and learn, you will understand the very short differences, and definitely it will help you in solving the questions as well and understanding the concepts better about the techniques as well.
All right, so that was the answer to your question, Sachin. And now that we have run out of time, let me still reiterate that I'm and our team is committed to answer every question which has come into this chat box. So I'm going to give you my email ID. Please drop me an email if we could not answer your question, or if you have any additional question. Drop me an email and I will fast forward it with our expert team and they will reply to you. Okay, so that email ID, let me display it on the screen for all of you. That's the email ID where you can reach out to me and I will fast forward it to all our experts and they will answer your questions. Now, one last thing which I want to highlight here to everybody. Okay, keep this in mind, everybody. Your last 80 days are the best 80 days you have got. Encash it. Use it in the best way you can. Any moment you feel you are not able to make it, seek help and support. There is no harm in asking for support from Biotecnika, or if you are not enrolled or you are a student, reach out to me. This is my email ID. I'm right here, guys, 24/7, my team, and I am here committed to your success. But if any student goes back home thinking that they are not good enough, that is where I will consider all of us have combinedly failed, right? So if we are committed to you, if we are ready to help, what is stopping you from seeking help and taking help? If you are not a part of Raftar batch, you can always become a part of Raftar batch. If you are already a part of, if you are already a student and if you are facing any kind of trouble, reach out to me. I will help you. Okay, so that's all about today's session. I know we could not answer some questions.
Last minute. Last tip, sir. In just 3 words, eat healthy. That is, eat well, sleep well, and study well, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So with this, we come to an end of our session, guys. It was really wonderful interacting with all of you. I would like to thank all my team of experts for all these insightful pointers and all the audience for sparing out time and asking these questions. I reiterate once again that your success is Biotecnika's achievement, and we will make it this June and this April as well. All the best, guys, and stay in touch and keep reading Biotecnika's app, website, as well as keep watching videos on YouTube, because we bring to you the most valuable 360-degree support in the industry. All the best and good night. Thank you, experts. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.